music, the vibe. Kick off your summer at the Ohio Black Expo Riverfront Culture Fest. Tell your friends, share with family. There's no other place to be Memorial Day weekend. Celebrate Black excellence.
Plus 2 concerts featuring Tidra Moses, Talib Kweli, and Jay Rawls, the one and only Marsha Ambrosius, and more.
Experience the African diaspora at its finest. Go to OhioBlackExpo.com for tickets, updates, and more. Visit OhioBlackExpo.com. That's OhioBlackExpo.com.
Are you a successful entrepreneur or one in training? You've got the vision, but do you have the right partner to build your brand, your team, and your future online and off? At CPRfirm.com, we offer expert consulting, financial guidance, and life coaching because we believe in doing life with our clients. After all, what is it for a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Founded by Callan Cash Coleman, we help our clients not only succeed, but plan to retire rich. Your business deserves the best. Start building your legacy today at CPRfirm.com.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Make sure you pick up my 2 books that's in Amazon right now. The first one is Passive-Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy. And I talk about in that particular book how the system of white supremacy really runs on our daily lives here in America. In our latest book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, we go through those steps to try to deprogram you from the system of white supremacy. Make sure you can pick up those books on Amazon.com.
I have the baddest in the building, the Fat Zira Oma.
I don't spend my money at the club.
Whose money is it?
People come there to spend money for me. So I get paid to be there. I don't pay anything. Everything I want is provided for me.
Take us through your background.
I'm a model, actress, and event host from Zimbabwe.
Baby, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Christ.
There's slay queens who literally dress up, look good, smell good. Then there's people who actually are like used to the lifestyle, grew in the lifestyle. I think it's just the way I dress. And then I gotta do what I gotta do.
Watch Slay Queen only on the African Diaspora News Channel app.
What if I told you there's a news platform made just for us? Unfiltered, unapologetic, telling our stories from Africa and the diaspora. The African Diaspora News Channel app keeps you informed and empowered from wherever you are at any time. Don't just watch, join the movement. Download the app now and stay connected to the news that matters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us on the stream this evening. It is March 18th. Ladies and gentlemen, some of you may be on spring break, and shout out to you for that. I know it's always good to be on spring break. So tonight, we're going to be talking about breaking down the video of a Somali man that wanted to, try to say some things about FBAs, right, in his identity. And then we're going to get into a little facts about the Somali identity tonight, why they look a lot different than, some of us for sure, especially those in that region of the Horn of Africa. And then we're going to kind of get into a horrible case of, 2 twin young men that, lost their lives, and we know good and well definitely who had their hands in it, right? Let's just put it like that. I'm going to talk about it a little bit, but then we're going to shut it down on YouTube and then really go in on it on the app. So if you're watching on the app, you ain't got to move anywhere. But if you're not on the app, then it'd be good to have the app, right? Because anytime we do our commentary, or we know good and well we get in trouble on YouTube, we're not going to say it here. We'll say it on the app. I'll let you know when it's time to go to the app, but appreciate everybody being here tonight. Also appreciate everybody who has downloaded the AD&C app. Thank you very much. We are slowly growing, and that's a beautiful thing. So not to waste too much of your time, So this Somali man, he has some things to say about the FBAs. Now, when I heard this mess, I'm like, really? But let's go ahead and cue this guy up real quick. Where he at? Okay, this is where he at, and let's go ahead and listen what he has to say.
Hey guys, it's Superman.
We're not trying to hit Tiffany. Wrong one.
This is a scenario that has happened with a lot of Somali kids, by the way. We'll go to the basketball court and we'll be like, yo, what's good? Whoa, buddy. I'm black. Like, what do you mean? It's like, no. You're a little bit skinnier. Your hair is doing this little wavy, kind of curly sort of thing. That's not, ours is nappy. Your face is a little different. Like, no. You're not one of us. You know what I mean? Like, you're something else, but you're not exactly one of us. So it's like, okay, what am I? It's like, you look more like a Indian, Arab. Go hang out with those guys. And then you'll go hang out with those guys, and then those guys will be like, I don't know how to tell you this, right? But you are an African, right? Like, you are black. You're not one of us. I don't know who told you were one of us. You're not. It kind of creates a situation where the Somali kids are ostracized. So then we start coming together as our own, right? So they start doing their own thing. They start getting popular. They start getting girls. They start making a wave. And then all of a sudden, the black kids come back and they're like, yo, hey, whoa, what's good, twin? Listen, all that shit about you not being black, that's water under the bridge. Yo, your women are beautiful, by the way. Why don't you come back? You're part of us now. And then the Arab kids are like, whoa, hold your horses now. Hold your horses. You guys gotta remember, you guys are Muslim. You guys are culturally more in tune with us more than any other people on the planet. Somalia is part of the Arab League. Technically, you guys are Arabs. Habibi, come over here. And then the Somalis, after all of this, is just like, I don't know how to tell you guys this, but I'd rather do my own thing.
Okay, it's so much to take our time to go through this. First and foremost, he ended it with delineation, okay? So when other groups of people take an issue with delineation, just know that they were doing it way before we were doing it. But this guy just straight lied. I mean, he lied so much. Let's go ahead and take time to break down his lies. Because, oh God, this is going to be actually great. Let's start this over, y'all.
This is a scenario that has happened with a lot of Somali kids, by the way. We'll go to the basketball court and we'll be like, yo, what's good? Whoa, buddy. I'm black. Like, what do you mean? It's like, no. You're a little bit skinnier. Your hair is doing this little wavy, kind of curly sort of thing. That's not, ours is nappy. Your face is a little different. Like, no. You're not one of us. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's talk about that. This guy, let's say him in particular, shows up on the basketball court and he wants to use words that's culturally something in our community, right? Not his community. That doesn't come from Somalia. It doesn't come from Mogadishu. That comes from here. That's our history, our community, whether you agree with the N-word or not. That's not what we're talking about right now. But the fact is, that is our stuff, regardless. Even though I disagree with the use of the word, but the fact is, the way he's trying to use it, like he's part of the FBA community, he's not. So immediately you see this dude who don't look nothing like an FBA at all, right? He show up with FBAs don't have curly hair like that. I'm not saying we don't have curly hair, but I'm saying it's the way they say that he's wearing his hair. That's not really something that brothers wear too much. You know what I'm saying? Maybe on some dudes on some pimping, maybe, but that's not really normal for us to wear our hair like that. So you see that dude come up, his weight has nothing to do with it. I mean, Lil Wayne is skinny, right? I mean, some of his drug induced. But anyway, there's a lot of dudes that are skinny, so it has nothing to do with his weight. His features does not look like typical FBA features. We know the features of our people, right? We can see a lot of time we can look at our people and say, hey, oh, they FBA. And we can look at others and say, oh, they're not. Just like when we go to their countries, right? We stand out. They can tell real quick that we're not one of them. So if any of us show up in Somalia, they'll look at us and they say, hey, where you from? Because clearly you're not from here because you don't look like us. And that's fine. That's okay because you're a different group of people within the diaspora. That's cool, right? But they just letting you know, hold on, bro. You trying to just come in like you part of the culture. Where you from? Like, we don't know you. And it'd be no different than me go to Somalia and I go say some greeting or I go say something to them in the middle of all of them. They gonna look at me like, hold on, what are he talking about? Man, yeah, I know you're not Somali, so where you from? Where you from? Now, they may immediately go with West Africa. 9 times out of 10, they probably gonna think you're West African. Or if not West African, they hear you talking, they'll go, oh, you American, okay, right? Most people gonna ask you that question. You can't just come into somebody else's culture using their words and thinking, oh, you know what I'm saying? Even Asians don't even do that. And in the Asians, they have different, communities of Asians, right? But if you can't just come into anybody's community, even though you quote unquote may be African descent, you just can't do that, right? And I wouldn't do it because it's just like I would come to with a general greeting. Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all good? Y'all whatever? Like, I'm not gonna go up there and say something that they say to each other and it has a history of what they saying to each other. You know what I'm saying? The problem is he was just too comfortable. And no, you can't come to another land and just saying things without being good with those people and even having a past to talk that way. I personally, I'm going to tell you, and I've told Africans this to their face in the continent. I don't really like y'all using the N-word because, number one, it don't even sound right coming from y'all. I said it to them. I said, it don't even sound right. I said, because y'all don't even say it the right way, in my opinion. Because when we say it, it comes from a certain place. When y'all say it don't come from a certain place. It sounds like you just saying it. You know what I'm saying? And I've said that to him. In South Africa, I said it to him, right? One was talking to me like that, and like, hold on, bro, what you just said? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just didn't hit right. That's what I was saying to him, right? I didn't say it mean. I didn't say it like I'm confrontational. I'm letting you know it just don't hit right when y'all say it. It don't. Period. It just don't hit right. And clearly the way he was looking showing up. Well, let's go on and continue with this guy saying.
Like, you're something else, but you're not exactly one of us. So it's like, okay, what am I? It's like, you look more like a Indian, Arab. Go hang out with those guys. And then you'll go hang out with those guys and then.
Okay. I can believe they told him, hey, you really don't look like us. Like, where you from? XYZ. But black folks don't go tell you, go hang out with the Indians, go hang out with the Arabs. Dude, that's a lie. I know black folk from coast to coast. That's not what we do. We are not mean people just because you look different. How is it that white folks could come in the middle of black folks and they are completely different, especially with their history with us, and we don't tell them, yeah, you different than us. Yeah, go over there with the Europeans. Hispanics are coming in the midst of us. We'll find out where they at. We don't say, hey, go to Mexico, go hang out with them. That's not how we get down, bruh. We don't even tell nobody that. That dude is lying. That has nothing to do with how we respond. Trust me, I know black folks. Yes, black folks ask where he from. Yes, black folks question his features. Yes, black folks question his hair. Of course. But go hang out with the Arabs? Come on, man. That dude lying.
Those guys will be like, I don't know how to tell you this, right? But you are an African, right? Like, you are black. You're not one of us. I don't know who told you you were one of us. You're not. It kind of creates this situation where the Somali kids are ostracized. So then we start coming together as our own, right? So they start doing their own thing. They start getting popular. They start.
Okay, hold on. You're ostracized. I can't tell. When FBAs try to befriend you, say, hey, you from Somalia? Oh, man, I saw Black Hawk Down. Man, I rock with that. Oh, no. I'm going to my community over here in Minnesota. I'm not over here with you FBAs. The only time they came out, want to be with FBAs, is when the Muhammad Noor, remember him, the police officer that shot the white lady from Australia, right? And she died, and it was truly an accident. He didn't shoot her 17 times. He didn't do that. He shot her, and while all them other cops were getting off, shooting black people 17, 20 times. He shot this white woman one good time, and he got put in jail. Now, Muhammad Noor is out of jail now. But during that time period, the Somalis were having Black Lives Matter signs. They was calling out for FBAs to talk about this because they clearly saw in that moment that, oh, you're not on the team either. They don't like you. I don't care what they say. I don't care if your hair's a little straighter or curlier. I don't care if your features are not like ours. They don't like you either. I always tell y'all, if you aren't part of their community, 99.9% of the time, they're not going to cut for you. They're not going to like you. They will play the game with you and say, oh, yeah, you know, you better than them FBAs over there. Oh, them FBAs are lazy. Them FBAs are this, them FBAs are that. And because you want their validation and because you think that you're better and you think that you have some sort of elitist position over us, I don't know how. Because, listen, I'm not the type of person to try to be elitist. I don't even like to talk like that with people. I really don't. But I would not talk about FBAs too much. And some of you have. I've heard some of the nasty things, some of you, not all, but some of you have said on Twitter Space. I've heard calling black people, I mean, worse names than what even the white supremacists will call us. But go to your homeland and no FBA is living like that. But yeah, you got the nerve to come over here in the country that we built. You wouldn't even been allowed over here. It wouldn't been the fight for FBAs, right? You get on the internet streets, you're lying, ostracized. Black folks don't have that kind of time to ostracize you, because let's call it what it is. Most black folks don't run into Somalis. Most black folks don't even run into Africans like that. Now, if you're in a major city, let's say like you're in Houston, you're going to see some Nigerians. I will give you that. Houston has a lot of Nigerians. You're in Atlanta, you're gonna see some Nigerians, some Ghanaians, some different people, right? Maybe some Ethiopians. I ran into them over there in Atlanta. But for the most part, most black folks, because all black people live in the major cities, most black folks don't run into Africans like that, like talking about. So those interactions with African immigrants are far and few in between. Now, you may see more Caribbeans here and there, and you don't always run into Caribbeans either. But let's keep it to Somalis. We definitely don't even run into y'all. I have never even seen, my whole time growing up in Port Arthur, Texas, right? I never met a Somali. Never met one. Not even met an African. Everybody was FBA. Anybody I was going to run into, right? FBA. And then, of course, you had the folks. You had the Vietnamese. You know, they on their side of town. You know, you had a little Hispanics here and there. Not many, right, when I was growing up. But that's the only kind of people I kind of dealt with. Black, white, Vietnamese, some Hispanics. But it wasn't dominating with Hispanics like it is kind of like now in a lot of areas. Now, if you live in New York, maybe you run into, that's the world right there. I call New York the city of the world, because if you don't want to leave the United States but want to see just about almost every nationality, go to New York City. That's the place to go, right there. You're going to see just about every nationality, every language you're going to hear spoken in New York City. That's the place to go. We are the world. But we don't run into Somalis like that to even quote unquote ostracize you. And let me say something else to this Somali gentleman. Let's say they did tell you that. Let's just have a devil's advocate moment. Let's say they said he's 100% right. So you take more issue with what some supposed FBA said to you on a basketball court than the white man dropping bombs in Somalia. The white man, the Western powers, right, got Somalia still looking like they not where they need to be. They set behind, in their development, and it's all because of the sabotage of the Western world. You're not even talking about all the things that's being done in Somalia about a man, the folks, right? You're not talking about that. But you're going to make a video about some supposed FBAs, just won't let you play basketball with them or say you look different. Boy, y'all are a scary group of people. I don't see how your women even respect you. I'm going to even say it. And I've said this before, and I'm going to probably get in trouble, and I can care less. I don't see how your women respect you, or a lot of them over there. Because, you know, a lot of FBA sisters here, they don't really respect weakness like that. And when you sit up here and be saying, oh, well, it's the government. Oh, well, it's this. Like, you a man. Make life better for the women and children, bruh. Make life better for the women and children. That's your job as a man. Your job isn't to run. If you want to send somebody anywhere, send the women and children. Send them, and you stay behind and fight and make your homeland great. And then when it get great, you call back your women and children to come back to the homeland and make it a great place for them. So the folks tearing up their homeland, that's not nothing to make a video about, but about some supposed FBAs. Okay. All right. Let me continue.
Getting girls, they start making a wave, and then all of a sudden...
Hold on. Getting girls and start making a wave. What wave are you making, sir? Can y'all tell me who's the big-time popular Somali dude in America? Because maybe I don't know because I work too much, and maybe I missed out on something. Can y'all kind of tell me who's the big Somali people that just making these big waves? And you can't use the dude from Captain Phillips. Can't use him because he didn't blow up and do nothing either. So what waves are y'all making in America at least, right? You talking about getting girls. What girls are you talking about, sir? Like, we don't even know you exist until you start speaking on us a lot of times. Or unless somebody go to Minnesota. The most famous one, I guess, for y'all is Ilhan Omar. Other than that, who knows what you got going on, sir? Now, sometimes you have to kind of check people on that lying. Because what he's doing, he's putting out a propaganda about FBAs that I don't like. And see, I always say this, and I'm glad I went to the African continent. It's a difference when they come here in America and when they being in their homeland. It's completely different. Matter of fact, the people in the homeland, a lot of times don't even respect them here. Do you know that? A lot of times they look at them like, man, they not really Somali like us. We Somali. We stayed here. Basically, their attitude is, we here in the trenches in Somalia, we stayed. We're fighting every day. We doing something in this country. They fled. They talking about they want a better life. They want to talk about they're a refugee. They got millions of people right now in Somalia, right now, that's not even trying to come to America. Don't have no desire. They don't even have no desire to go to no Europe, no nothing. And I said this, if you're going to flee, can you flee to another African country? It'd be much easier to do that than come way across the ocean. There got African economies that's doing pretty good. Like South Africa's economy is very good on the continent. Kenya is good. Namibia is good. Botswana is good. Ghana's doing okay as well, right? You mentioned Ghana. But I'm just mentioning some countries that I kind of know their economies are definitely a lot better than maybe where some of them are coming from. Of course, the number one destination is South Africa, of course. We know that. But what I'm saying is, wouldn't it be easier to go to within the continent? And a lot of people have done it. I'm not saying all of them want to come to America. That's not true. But when they go back to the homeland, they've made videos saying this, that they really don't look at them the same. They really don't respect them. Yeah, we know you. We know you part of us. You look like us, but nah, you an American now. You ain't one of us because you fled. That's why they tell you that back home, because you fled. You didn't want to stand and fight. You didn't want to go to another country in the African continent. You didn't want to do that. You wanted to flee here. Then when you get here, you want to lie and put out a propaganda and be disrespectful to the people that got you here. Because we got you here. Them folks didn't get you here. We did that. Now, I'm not saying he is the representation of all Somali people in America. I'm not saying that. But the truth is, I've heard this more than once. And that's why I'm kind of covering this and talking about this, because I refuse to sit here as long as I have some sort of microphone to allow any group, whether they within the diaspora or outside of it, to put a propaganda on FBAs. Because let me tell you what about that propaganda. When you go to the African continent, if you don't check propaganda, that's when you hear that, well, I saw this movie, I saw this social media post, and I thought this and I thought that. Well, why you think that? Because FBAs can do a good job of checking propaganda, anti-black propaganda. So that's what I'm here to do. That's what many others are here to do. You're here to check out the propaganda. Once again, nothing I'm saying about him is with hate. Nothing. Okay. I just you got to just straighten him out a little bit. Let's go.
The black kids come back and they're like, yo, hey, yo, whoa, what's good, twin? What's good, twin? Listen, all that shit about you not being black, that's water under the bridge.
Now that dude lying. What? Once again, we don't even know where y'all at. How are we running to y'all and say, oh man, come on, man, we want to hang with y'all. Oh man, that's a water underneath the bridge. We want to hang with y'all now. Now, once again, I could be wrong, but I don't even know many FBAs that even have Somali friends because they're not in our area to have a friend. You may have one or two here and there, but to say a bunch of Somali people we know, I don't know nobody personally Somali. I don't know one. Now, I've talked to some here and there over the years while doing this, but I'm talking about like in my area. I haven't ran into a bunch of Somalis. I'm not saying they're not here in the Houston area, but they're not dominant enough. I say, oh yeah, the Somalis over here. You know, you may see some Ethiopians here, some Eritreans here, but a bunch of them, like to the point that, oh, you know what? I got to go run to the Somalis and say, man, I want you to hang with me because, boy, your stock is so great in America. Just me just being seen with you. Oh, my God, that's going to raise up my stock. Come on, bro. Come on, man. I just don't like the lying. But okay. Let's continue.
Yo, your women are beautiful, by the way. Why don't you come back?
Okay, so, and the purpose of FBAs running to Somalis because they're popular and their women are beautiful. Most black men do not have Somali girlfriends. Of course, statistically, the majority of them have black girlfriends or black wives, statistically. Depending where you live, maybe Hispanic woman after that, could be a white woman. Maybe either or. It just depends where you live, okay? Maybe an Asian. Asian's kind of low on the scale with a lot of black men. You know, unless that man traveled somewhere and got her, like Thailand, Philippines, that sort of thing. But if he didn't really travel, wasn't in the military or whatever, Asians really don't fool with us like that unless you're getting Aquafina types, right? And they kind of ostracize out the Asian community, that type or whatever. You know, maybe some brothers are hollering at Vietnamese girls. You know, you probably can get some of them or whatever, because in the Asian world, Vietnamese are kind of put down at the bottom, right? Well, like the Filipinos and Thailand people too. You know, you want to piss off a Korean, call them a Vietnamese. Call them a Filipino, watch how they act. Call them a Cambodian, watch how they act. Oh, they got hella colorism in the Asian community. But that's that. But brothers aren't dating those Somali women. Like, bro, like, what are you talking about? Now, maybe some of y'all in the chat know better than me. Do y'all know any black men that got Somali girlfriends or wives? Like, that they met her here in America. Not he went to Somalia and he whatever. I'm talking about here. Do y'all know anybody? Okay, so LJM says, he have a business in Minnesota. He said, I've been there over 40 years, no Somali friends. Now, let's touch on that. How come he doesn't have Somali friends? Because in order to have a friend, you got to make yourself friendly. They don't make themselves friendly to FBAs. They stay away from FBAs. And that's what we're talking about. So how can black folks want to run to them and say, hey, come on, man, your women beautiful. We want to be... Dude lying.
come back. You part of us now. And then the Arab kids are like, whoa, hold your horses now. Hold your horses. You guys got to remember, you guys are Muslim. You guys are culturally more in tune with us more than any other people on the planet. Somalia is part of the Arab League. Technically, you guys are Arabs. Habibi, come over here. And then like
Dude, listen, I'm not an Arab person, but I've been around some Arabs. I kind of see how they get down. They're not telling y'all that. Dude, you lying on the Arabs now and the East Indians. East Indians not trying to hang with y'all. And now in the area where I live at, I see a lot of East Indians in this particular area, right? And I haven't seen no East Indians hanging out with y'all. They hang out with their people. I see that. They're not, like what? This dude is lying on everybody. That's what I don't like about the internet sometimes, because people can just lie. Ain't no East Indians begging y'all or Arabs begging y'all to go hang out with them. Oh, boy.
Somalis, after all of this, is just like, I don't know how to tell you guys this, but I'd rather do my own thing.
Okay, so what he said is basically the FBAs is fighting to spend time with them, and they women are so beautiful. So FBA men are just, my Lord, they can't help themselves. And then the Arab men and the East Indian men, they're like, oh my God, Somalis, you more like us because of religion and all of that. Like, please hang with us, Somali people. And he's like, no, I can't. We just gonna do our own thing. Like, you see the ridiculous things when you just break things down and scrutinize it just a little bit. Like dude that made this video, that's the most. How did you even make this video? I think Somalis should be calling you right now and say, man, why are you lying on us like that? Why are you lying? Because Somali's not even okay. Okay, so Shai from here say you say you went to Hajj with Somalians and they thought it said you were Somalian, but once you talked, they stayed away from you. Okay. Yeah. He say who's talking about getting girls. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, he's a young man, but he's young and wrong. Now, let's go ahead on and play. Also, you're talking about how he mentioned it earlier about the look of them, but the reason why they look this way. Let's get some information about the admixture, DNA admixture.
Somali people's ancient and complex population history. Genetic studies indicate that the average Somali individual possesses a unique genetic makeup, primarily comprising two ancestral components: East African ancestry, Dash 60%. This component is indigenous to the Horn of Africa and is closely associated with other Afro-Asiatic speaking populations in the region. West Eurasian ancestry, 40%. This component is linked to populations from the Near East and North Africa. It is believed to have resulted from ancient back migration into the Horn of Africa, occurring approximately 23,000 years ago, predating the advent of agriculture. This distinctive genetic admixture underscores the ancient and complex population history of the Somali people, reflecting both indigenous African roots and significant prehistoric interactions with neighboring regions.
All right, so as you heard there, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard, they are 60% African, and then you have West Eurasian mixture with them, right? And we know Eurasian and what that is. So that's why they look different. That's why. Now you I would say, 'cause I've talked to some people that from West Africa, and they did their DNA, and a lot of them are straight 100% African. You got people in Kenya, same thing about them too. You could say anybody that kind of have because the Bantus traveled all over the continent. They didn't just stay in one location. So, a lot of us have, Bantu backgrounds if you go and look it up with time, right? So the Bantus were in East Africa, they was in West Africa, they was in the southern part of Africa, they was in the middle, they traveled everywhere. They were very nomadic, the Bantus. But when it comes to the Somalis, they just, that's their admixture or whatever. And because of the admixture, some of them think they're better than, us FBAs. And I'm like, bro, you're not better. You're not better. If you got to look at your hair or your skin or your nose to say you're better, that's why you fit in good with the white supremacist, because that's how he thinks. And he's an idiot. So which makes you an idiot. Right? I'm the type of person, where does the rubber meet the road? Forget all that talking you're doing. What's going on what's the actions going on? What's going on in your life? What's going on in your homeland? You understand? Like, you can look in the mirror and think you got better looking hair. Okay, cool. But you may have to walk 3 miles to get a jug of water. Is your hair really better than a FBA person that can just walk to their sink and just open it up? Are you better at that point? I'm just saying, for the people that feel that way. Phil, you talking about people, look, I have to tell the truth for what it is. He should be happy he in this country. He should be happy. Some of them go to the UK and all of that, just fleeing everywhere. All over Europe, just fleeing. Won't stay there to fix anything for the women and children. Now. He say, Natasha say a lot of FBA men do want everybody's women. Well, I would say this much. An FBA man could do whatever the hell he want to do with a woman. That's his business. I ain't Umar. I don't police nobody's stuff. I don't do that. Statistics show that most FBA men date and marry FBA women. It's because it's proximity. I mean, come on. It's proximity. That when it comes to that argument right there, I always say, whether it's a woman or a man, why are you bothered about what somebody else is doing? You just need to get the person you want to be with, right? If you want who you want, you get them and focus on your relationship, not somebody else. And you know what? If a FBA brother want to get a Somali woman, okay, that's what he want. I prefer him to be with a Somali woman over dealing with Becky and them. And the history you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's. But at the end of the day, even if you want Becky, that's his business. I don't care. I don't police people's life. I got so much going on in my life, I just don't care. But it's a lie to say that all these black men are just running to Somali women. That's a lie. That is a complete lie. I don't see black men with no Somali women. I just don't see that. All right. So you say most black Americans are triracial, native, European, and European admixture ain't a flex. Let's talk. Okay, let's talk about that. Why did FBAs get a European admixture? Was it by choice? Was it because we just lived around white people and that's just really what we were seeking to do? Or were we enslaved and were we violated for 250 years on those plantations, so much so they created a lighter skinned class of people? I mean, that's not by choice. Okay, so I don't know what this flex conversation is about, ma'am. We are just a different group of people, and we're not white people. If we were white, we would be accepted as white, right? Most FBAs, some of us not, maybe some of us a little under 50%, but a lot of us are 80+%. You look at DNA wise, African. Most FBAs go anywhere from maybe like 8 to some of us up to 20% European. Is because of all the plantation violating. I mean, can we help that? No, we can't. That's part of our history. That's part of our story. It's just that simple. I tell people this. If you want to get out of that admixture, the best thing you could do is marry someone from the continent that did not experience slavery. That's the only way you can clean up the bloodline. If you marry another FBA, you still gonna have that admixture. Just being honest with you, if you're on that blood purity stuff. I'm not telling nobody that's what they're doing. Now. What you say the folks gave them $250 million, largest theft ring in Minnesota for a food program? Well, I believe that. I believe it. And now one of them going to jail. And they be scamming too. A lot of them be scamming. Now let's get to this next story real quick. Oh, you said meeting Somalis being mixed isn't special. Okay. And yeah, they not. But I'm not saying every Somali person is like this guy. But some of them is on that. And that's all the people I'm addressing. If you're not that way, you're down, brother, you're down, sister from Somalia, then I rock with you. I love you, right? But it's just the people that got this attitude that they a little bit better because their hair maybe just a little bit curlier, right? No. Let's get to this next story also, what we have here. Now, let's play this. What happened to these twins in Georgia? Listen to this.
We want answers. We want to know exactly what happened to the twins.
Nazir and Kaidir Lewis.
Those are my nephews.
Just a few weeks shy of their 20th birthday.
I can get past it. They're gone.
The twins' uncle, Raheem Bronner.
They're very protective of each other. They love each other. They're like inseparable. So I couldn't imagine them hurting each other because I never even seen them get into a fist fight before.
The GBI saying their preliminary investigation points to the twins' death being a murder-suicide.
We knew right away that wasn't true.
Family says the twins had a 7 a.m. flight to Boston last Friday.
Right there, we never heard from them. They missed their flight. We don't know what happened.
24 hours later, the twins' body found 90 miles away.
How they end out in the mountains, they don't hike out there. They've never even been out there. They don't know nothing about Hiwassee, Georgia. They never even heard of Bell Mountains. So how did they end up right there?
A mystery this family is trying to solve.
They had a huge support system. Like, we know them that they wouldn't do anything like this. So to say that they did this to each other when they come from a family of love, and they love each other, they always together, we don't believe that. They didn't do this to each other. Something happened in those mountains, and we want answers.
Now, we know exactly what happened in those mountains, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I've been doing this for a very long time. I wanna get into that real quick, and I want to just say what I want to say about it. But we gotta follow YouTube's rules. So go ahead on and head over to the ADNC app and let me go ahead on and hit this commentary up because I don't want to bridle my tongue on what I'm gonna say about this particular story. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. It's beautiful.